So now that I have sold the project BMW Z4, I have the ultimate first world problem, which is which one of these cars do I keep and which one do I sell? Now, I know that is the ultimate first world problem, but it is actually a very, very hard decision I am going to have to make. Now, to make that decision, it's only fair that we jump in both of the cars and head out for a drive. But first of all, what's going on, guys? My name is Ben and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, then please do hit that subscribe button, as I have some very exciting content planned throughout the year. But anyway, back to the video. I think the car we shall take out first is, of course, the M3, the newest addition to my car kind of collection, if you like. So we kickstart the video off in the E92 BMW M3. Now, I've only had this car for around 3 weeks or so, and I haven't really been able to get out of it. I do love it. But let's kind of start with first the advantages of this car. So number one, it's a dream car of mine. I was looking at these way before I bought my 35 IS, but I didn't buy one at the time, I think because of insurance. So that's one. Another advantage, carbon roof, massive flex, and is very, very cool. When you get in the car and whenever you're filling up with petrol, you can just see it and it just reminds you that you're in something incredibly special. Third advantage, of course, the V8. It's absolutely fantastic with 420 brake horsepower. And I think this is the first of all, this is the fastest car I've ever driven on the road. And I've got this kind of sense of feeling in that I've never had before from a car, which is every time I get into this, whenever I get out at my destination, I am just grateful that I made it there in one piece. Because if you do not treat this car with enough respect, then it will step out and lose traction and try and kill you. Now, that may sound like a massive disadvantage. Why would you want a car that could kill you? But the drama and the excitement it gives me is fantastic. So that shouldn't really be an advantage, but it is. And I think if you're a car guy, you know exactly what I'm on about. Now, kind of disadvantages. The road tax is, I hope you're sitting down for this, is £598 a year. I know, expensive. I pay that monthly. And I'm still waiting for one of the debits to go out of my account. I believe it's 50 quid a month. So that is quite a big one. Secondly, unsurprisingly, this car drinks fuel. At the minute, I seem to be filling the tank every weekend, which would be all right if it was a daily. It's not. I only drive this really at the weekend. So full tank, roughly £75, and it would do about 250 miles to 300 miles to a tank. So it is quite thirsty and expensive to fill. Another disadvantage, and it will probably need some at some point, tyres. Rear tyres are around £220 each, so 440 quid for some rear tyres. Very, very, very expensive indeed. However, I think it's to be expected with a car like this. You don't buy an E92 V8 M3 and try and run it on a shoestring budget, although I will, because I am very tight indeed. But it is such a hard decision. This car to me is, my heart is kind of siding with this car. So my heart is saying keep it, even if it's for a couple of months. Keep it, enjoy it, it'll be very popular on the channel. And then when you've finished with it, sell it on, and jobs are good. I think the main issue with this car is I bought it at such a good price that I could sell it and make a very, very, very good profit, and that's kind of playing in my mind a bit. But I could probably potentially make the same profit in 6 months to a year's time. I don't believe these cars are devaluing all that much, or if at all. So, ooh, it's a tough one, isn't it? Especially when you drop it down a gear. Oh, it absolutely punches you in the back of the head. One thing I didn't expect with the E92 M3, I'd never driven one until this one, was I didn't expect the power delivery to be like the Porsche. In the Porsche, it's pretty flat until you get to, say, 3000 RPM. Over that, in the higher RPMs, it is very, very enjoyable, and then it really starts to pick up pace. This is kind of similar. It's got no low-end torque. You really kind of have to thrash it in a lower gear to feel those 420 ponies, essentially. And then once you get up to this car's red line is 8,500 RPM, and when you hit that spot, it sounds amazing, and the car becomes so full packed of drama. It is absolutely fantastic. So another advantage to the M3 is, of course, the practicality and the usability. In this car, I have 4 seats, so I could take 4 friends, if I had some, out for a drive. And of course, a big boot as well. So it is very, very good, and it does have cruise control and just a little bit more technology than the Porsche. I mean, this car has an aux input. Now, that alone is leaps and bounds ahead of the Porsche, because that doesn't even have any kind of audio input at all. Now, I'm not hating on the Porsche, and the practicality isn't necessarily like a deal maker for me, because I do drive a daily. I have a work car provided by the company, so practicality isn't all that important. However, it is one thing to bear in mind, and of course, if I was to take this car on a road trip, then of course I could take more than one other person. I've got a big boot for all my luggage. That was a very, very big struggle when I did my road trip in the Z4 35 IS, and I have cruise control, which is a massive, massive benefit of this car, and every car should have cruise control. I can't believe the Porsche doesn't have cruise control. It's so annoying, but it's one of those things. It's an older car. That's a 2005. This is a 2008. It is to be expected. So that was the E92 BMW M3. Now it's time to give the Porsche the same chance, take this for a drive, and talk you through the advantages and disadvantages to keeping this car. So then guys, we have jumped into the Boxster S, and of course the sun has come out, so it's only right that we put the roof down. It did start raining for around 5 minutes whilst we were filming this video. However, it's cleared up and the sky is blue, and that has got to be the biggest advantage of this car. It's just on a nice sunny day, you can drop the hood and just really listen to that flat 6 engine, which does sound really, really good. So in similar fashion to the M3, let's talk about advantages of this car. So advantages, it's £200 cheaper to insure. The tax is half the price, pretty much, of the M3. Of course, you've got the roof down. Another advantage being, if this is a word, badgist. It's a Porsche, and you can see that when you're driving, and it's just kind of cool, really, isn't it? And of course, with the mid-engine setup, it is a very, very good handling car. I can go around corners in this pretty much flat out, and the car will just stick to the road like it's glued. Now, if I had done that in the M3, it would most definitely step out and try and kill me, but does kind of make it a bit more fun. But now I'm on a B road like this, it does handle like a dream, and you can throw it into corners and it grips. It's got to be said, this car's party piece is how well it goes around corners. These twisty B roads in this car are absolutely fantastic fun. You can throw this car into corners at unreal speeds, and thanks to the mid-engine placement and the weight distribution, it sticks and makes this an absolutely fantastic handling car. And when you've got the roof down with all this headroom on a nice day like today, oh, it doesn't get much better than this. So for me, the way this car handles has to be the best feature. See, I can plant my foot there and it will grip. When you've got the roof down, listening to that flat six engine, it sounds great. Puts a massive smile on your face and gives you the confidence to go around corners at great speeds. It is so much fun to drive, and that's just got to be the best thing really about this car. Hands down is the handling. Now let's get on to the, I guess, disadvantages. It's not as quick in a straight line as the M3, obviously. This has 280 brake horsepower, whereas the M3 has 420. That's a bit of a downside. There's not enough space in here. However, I would say this cockpit is more driver focused. You kind of know you're in something special. It's less practical, which is kind of cool, especially for a weekend toy. You can only get 2 people in here, obviously, and the dash is very simple, arguably quite dated now. I can't input any of my phone or music into the stereo, so that's kind of annoying, but right in front of you, you've got a giant rev counter, which revs all the way up to around 7,000, 8,000, like the M3, so that is quite cool. It sounds good, it goes well, just not as quick as the M3. More disadvantages, not as practical, obviously, although this car is quite practical for what it is. We have a frunk and a boot, and you know, medium space in here, I suppose. We've got little cubbies in the door, which is quite cool. It's genuinely a very hard decision. Do I go for my heart, which says keep the M3, it's a dream car, you'll love it, or do I go with my head, which is stick with this, it's a cheaper car to use on the weekends, it's cheaper to run and insure, things like that. And yeah, that's the biggest, I guess, dilemma I'm having, if you like. Does sound good, however, I've mentioned in previous videos, it is flat and kind of unresponsive below 3,000 RPM. It makes it feel slower than it is. You've got to get it over 3,000, rev it all the way up for it to become a great car, essentially. Sounds quite good. It sounds better than I remember, actually, but it is a good car. So that is exactly why I can't decide between the 2 cars. Turn this corner, bury the throttle, just went round the corner at 60 in the damp, and it grips. My God, this car is good. Because I don't drive this car on a daily basis, I forget how good it is. It's just, if you've never driven a Boxster, you need to. I don't know why these cars get so much slate, because they handle fantastic. Oh my God. The mid-engine in this, woo! Throw it into a corner, grips, plant it, no drama. I think this car is just, the issue with this car is, if you can really call it an issue, is it's too good at what it does. Thanks again, I keep mentioning it, the mid-engine placement of this car, perfect weight distribution. You've got a lot of weight over those rear tyres, so it doesn't break traction, and you could say that's quite dramaless. But when you want to go out for a hoon, smash some B-roads such as this, then it is absolutely fantastic. Oh my God, it handles amazingly. And that flat 6 actually sounds decent. It sounds so much louder since I removed that panel on that intake. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you do so, because the car has a lot more induction noise and sounds fantastic. Now then, now that we have taken both cars for a drive, you're probably expecting me to come to some kind of decision, a verdict and a conclusion on which one I should keep and which one I should sell. Now they both have their pros and cons in many ways. One car may do one thing better than the other, for example, but they are both incredibly capable and I love them both very much, which makes this incredibly hard to try and have to make a decision. The biggest downfall with this is mainly the running costs, but I do love it. It is a dream car. The biggest downfall for that is it's a little dramaless and lacks a little bit of power. But they are both very, very good cars. And unfortunately, I can't even now make my mind up on which one I should keep and which one I should sell. It's kind of mind over heart, that kind of thing. Like, do I listen to my head or my heart when it comes to the sale of these cars? So if you guys have any input you would like to add, then do let me know in the comments below and let's get a bit of a discussion going, because at the minute I am torn between which one to keep and which one to sell. And I know that is a very, very nice issue to have, but it is unfortunately one I've got to face. But anyway, that's going to be a wrap from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and a little notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future upcoming videos, including a verdict on which one I do decide to keep. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.